Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, City Current CEO, Jeremy Park.
Welcome back to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference, empowering the good. And in this case, we're talking about inclusion, giving back, so much more. Best Buddies Tennessee. We're honored to have with us Morgan Tansey, Area Director with Best Buddies Tennessee. How are you doing?
Hey, Jeremy, great. Thanks so much for having me this morning.
Absolutely. You all are doing tremendous good. And when you talk about one-to-one friendships, leadership development, there's a lot to unpack. But let's start. Give us a little bit of history and some context for Best Buddies Tennessee.
Yeah, so Best Buddies Tennessee launched in 2010, I think it was, in the Nashville area. It's grown statewide. We're currently very active in Memphis and expanding across East Tennessee. Primarily, our friendship programs, I think, are our most well-known and most popular pillar that we have. We have a jobs program in the Nashville area, leadership development, as you mentioned. And our school programs, which really encompass or embody those friendship programs, are our biggest driving force statewide. And then we have our adult friendship program, Citizen. So growing rapidly since we started almost, 14 years ago.
Well, let's go ahead and dive in deep, because when you look at it, it is inclusion, it's relationships, it's knocking down stereotypes, it's building community. So let's start with the school program and then we'll work our way through.
Yeah, so our school programs start as early as pre-K all the way through college. And really the focus is breaking down those stereotypes about students with disabilities. Many students are stuck in their classrooms all day. They don't have the opportunity to push out into that general ed setting, let alone have the opportunity for inclusive friendships. So the goal of the school-based programs is really to break down those barriers and provide those opportunities for students in a special ed setting to meet their typical peers, to develop friendships with, age-appropriate kiddos that are interested in the same things. And then for the general ed students to also break down that barrier misconception that, special ed students are really different for them or they're not capable. And we know that's not the case at all. And so it's so powerful to start that as early as pre-K and then to see it continue to grow and have that impact at the collegiate level as well.
Talk about the structure of that program.
So, a typical public school setting has a special ed program. And so students in a, functional skills, a self-contained, there's a lot of different terms for a special ed setting. And we know that statewide, it sounds very different depending on the school district. But in that special ed or functional skills classroom, those students have intellectual developmental disabilities and they're in a special ed setting most of the day. And so those students are partnered in one-to-one friendships with their general ed peers, usually across, similar grade bands, and trying to find a match that not only aligns with their interests and their likes and the things that they do in their free time, but also in an age-appropriate match. So, and then they spend, they do chapter activities together every month as a group. So could be social, could be just like fun games, just ways for students to kind of really break down those barriers. Some are more education-based, like really disability awareness focused. And then as we get older, there's an expectation for middle, high school, college students to not only spend time together in those school-based activities that happen, during a club time or after school, but also spending time together on the weekends, going to the movie, getting ice cream, going to the school soccer game, whatever it is that they are having that additional kind of one-to-one component outside of the school day.
Yeah, and I think that's an important piece for the community, the public, to understand is there's structure, there's intention on the front end to build the opportunities to learn together, grow together, build those relationships together, be immersed in, the educational content, the experiences. And then there's intention around opening up the bandwidth to go out and really do some fun things to further galvanize those relationships. And I think that's where, when you talk about how do we bring the community together, it's with intention, right? Like it's with intention, it's with experiences that are safe, but, environments to be able to thrive on all sides. And I think that's the beauty of what you're doing. And so then carry that into the adult side.
So Citizens is very similar to our school-based chapters. It's really geared towards our participants once they're, kind of graduating or aging out of a transition program. So for anyone 18 and up, and the goal is that, oftentimes our high school students who have been in Best Buddies programs, they've developed these friendships. Their friends go off and they go to college, they're entering the workforce. They're moving away most of the time, or they're moving on in life and they don't, those relationships aren't maintained. So for the adult program, it's really mirroring the intention of the school-based program and creating those inclusive friendship opportunities, but it's community-based. So rather than being founded in a school where your volunteers are there, I and our other teammates in Nashville are doing the matching, we're doing the activities, we're doing the planning, that making sure that there's quality matches. And so for that program, we're the age range is a little bit more generous. So not necessarily 18 to 18, but like 18 to 25, just making sure it's still an age appropriate match, that they're matched based on some shared interests, typically same gender as well. And then location. We know that like in Nashville, you're not trying to drive all over the city to get together with someone, same for here in Memphis. And so being really mindful that we remove that barrier of just driving to get together with someone. And then we as a staff really are intentional with providing kind of monthly or regular opportunities for our citizens pairs to come together and be a part of the larger citizens community, just to hang out and meet other people in the program. But they also have the freedom to really just do whatever they want every month. Could just be going and grabbing a bite to eat, going to the movies, tapping into a community event. We have one pair, he loves Huey's, so they go to Huey's almost monthly. That's just their thing, and that's what he likes to do. So they have that flexibility to really decide what they want to do together.
And I think, all of this is bringing worlds together that might not collide, but yet when they do, like, it's so amazing and it changes lives on all sides, right? And so that's, you're building community, just like we talked about. So what's been the feedback? What's been some of the testimonials that you all have been receiving?
I think, at the school level, it is just like so wonderful to hear as early as, first grade, second grade, fourth grade, that I love spending time with my buddy. If I didn't have this chapter, or I wasn't, a student in this group, I may not have friends. And I, hearing from our peers too, that I really thought that, my buddy Piper wasn't capable of playing like I'm playing. And then I learned that like Piper loves the same things that I love. And so just hearing that is as young as elementary school, that students are realizing, we're all really the same, regardless of if we have a disability or not, that they're very capable. Our students are very capable. And so I love just to see those barriers broken down. And then for the adult program, and even like our college level, I think they kind of get looped in together sometimes because they are similarly aged. It's, we just had a pair speak at our friendship walk, and the participant with IDD shared that like, I've had a regular college experience. I've been able to go to his fraternity events with him. Like we go to Oxford together and watch the baseball games, and I wouldn't have been able to do that without my match. And so it's just so amazing to see the connections that our pairs are creating with one another, and that they're really becoming a part of one another's lives. The match event had shared too that his match's family has become his family. They're his home away from home when he's here for college. And so he spends holidays with them that he can't travel home to. And he just is so thankful that Best Buddies has provided him with a little second family here. And that's not us, that's the college chapter and all the work that like our amazing student volunteers and our teachers are doing. So it's truly sounds dramatic, but it's a life-changing program. I mean, we're changing people's lives, and it's just really affirming to hear that and know that we're doing the work and we're on the right track.
Carry that into the larger impact in the community, because you're building the friendships, the relationships one-to-one, but you're also transforming people into champions. And when I talk about like, champions, it's powering the good in a larger way. It's taking these moments and realizing, wait, we're way more similar than we are different. I'm going to stand up for others. I'm going to be a positive force in the community because of what this is showing me, that I have the capability to build these relationships and build these bonds that create, bigger opportunities to transform our city. And so carry that into this larger ripple effect of, yes, bringing the community together, but also to getting individuals to realize they can be a positive force out in the community based on being a positive force in someone else's life.
Exactly. And I think that the way I look at it is, the younger that we get participants engaged, the more ingrained inclusion and just like general acceptance is into their overall being, and it just becomes second nature to them. Then they're growing up, and if their school doesn't have a chapter, they're advocating to have a chapter, or they're naturally just gravitating towards including others who are different from them. And then, they're going into college, they're going into the workforce, they're becoming just more inclusive advocates in whatever it is they're doing. Can they advocate for their employer to hire an individual with a disability? Again, are they just engaged in citizens, and now through their involvement and how authentic it is to them, they've recruited 5 other friends to then be citizens volunteers as well. So then that impact continues to grow. And I think we're even seeing this with our events. We have someone who, has a personal connection to a family member with a disability. They're involved with Best Buddies, and now they're getting their corporate group out to just volunteer, to make the friendship walks happen, to make the galas happen, like to be the volunteer manpower that we need. And I think that it's just amazing to see that ripple effect, where there's not only so many ways that people can have an impact within our programs, but there's so many ways for people to then engage and become involved and give back to our programs as well.
Yeah. Touch on some of the other programs. You have leadership development. There's a lot of other things. So give us a little bit of a highlight of some of the other programs.
Yeah, so in the Nashville area, we have our jobs program, which provides inclusive employment opportunities for individuals with IDD. And our jobs team, does everything from just like, what kind of job are you interested in? Not sure, like, let's explore that. Resume building, going through the interview process. And then once the individual is placed in a job, ongoing job support for as long as that individual needs. Obviously trying to, tailor that back and have that person be independent in their job setting. But we know that navigating the work life can be a big challenge, just from, okay, now I have my job, but now I don't really know how to ask for more hours, or I don't really know how to advocate for these accommodations in the workplace. And so that team really helps through just again the life cycle of having a job and all the things that may come with that. We have our leadership development pillar, which is really our ambassador program. And so supporting our participants in becoming, stewards for our mission, but also developing public speaking skills, networking skills, as a leader, what does it mean to be a leader in your community for the disability community? So giving them a lot of opportunities to not only kind of have a mission statement, like a personal mission statement, and share about their program experience, but to also give them a platform to practice, to become leaders. And, how are you using your skills as an ambassador to create change and to really advocate for those people in your community? Again, the friendship programs, and that's the school-based programs and our adult citizens program. So we're really excited just to continue to grow all of that across the state.
Well, all of this happens through the power of volunteers. And so talk about how the community can support your efforts.
I mean, truthfully, we wouldn't be able to do what we do without volunteers. We are so grateful for our standout volunteers, from our teachers who serve as advisors to our students who serve as, chapter leaders in their school communities. So again, there's opportunities at the school level for anyone who's interested in learning more. Then citizens, we need citizens peers, those peer volunteers, to be matched with a participant with IDD. And we have ongoing volunteer opportunities throughout the year for events. If you're just interested in, hey, I want to come out and help set up for this event or be a part of this event. And then committees are, a big need right now is committees. We're really, especially in the Memphis area, growing. And can use all the support as far as our citizens peers, committee volunteers, and same for the Nashville area. We've got a lot of day of volunteer opportunities, committee opportunities again, and anyone can just reach out and email Tennessee@bestbuddies.org to learn more. We're happy to share all the different ways to get plugged in. And sometimes people come to us with a great idea. Hey, I heard about your citizens program. I have this idea. We welcome that. So if you don't hear of something that stands out to you today, let us know, because we love to just find a place where people feel passionate about plugging in.
And obviously, being a nonprofit, financial contributions to underwrite your efforts, sponsorships, corporate sponsorships, lots of easy ways to get engaged, both physically and financially, to support Best Buddies Tennessee. So mention again, website, social media. Where do we go to start taking next steps, especially for volunteers who say, hey, I want to get involved? Where do we go?
Best, I think, easiest way is to email just our team, Tennessee@bestbuddies.org. We'll get you plugged in. Of course, you can go to the website, bestbuddies.org/Tennessee, to learn more about our programs here locally. And then on social media, just Facebook, Best Buddies Tennessee, and on Instagram, Best Buddies TN. And we will get connected. If you DM us, if you message us, if you send us an email, we'll make sure to get you connected to all of our programs and volunteer opportunities.
When you think about big events and things to put on the calendar, what are some of the major dates typically? And it can be broad, but when you start looking ahead at putting placeholders on the calendar, what are those placeholders we need to have on the calendar?
So our next big events are going to be our galas this fall. The Memphis Gala is October 17th. They'll be at the Memphis Botanic Gardens. And the Nashville Gala is November 2nd. And we're looking for volunteers, day of volunteers, as well as community volunteers for both of those. And then looking ahead to 2025, which sounds just so crazy already, but we'll have our friendship balls in the spring, typically February, March, which is our inclusive prom opportunity for our high school and adult participants. And then our friendship walks are always in the spring, April, May. So we'll have some of those, hard deadlines confirmed a little bit more, but we're on to gala season for this fall. I'm very excited.
Yeah, absolutely. The website again, bestbuddies.org is the easy place, and then Best Buddies TN. So Morgan, thank you for all you and your amazing team do to power the good. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks so much, Jeremy. Have a great day.
Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services is proud to power the City Current Show. We're a people-first company that protects what matters most, the families, businesses, and trailblazers that keep our community going. As one of the nation's top independent insurance firms, Higginbotham is a single-source solution for business insurance, employee benefits, HR services, and personal insurance that's customized for you. We're here to serve you, the people you care about, and your community. Call 866-377-1959 or visit higginbotham.com.